Our next speaker is someone who's from an industry that has been turned around, disrupted, and some places destroyed, but has fought back, and in some cases, actually is a golden age for that industry. So before I welcome our speaker to the stage, here's a little video to give you a warm-up of what this speaker is going to speak about.
Freaks. What you're about to see will astound your senses.
Someone to trust, maybe all you need is someone. And I won't let you down, no, I won't let you down. I won't let you down, my love. I won't let you down, no, I won't let you down. I won't let you down, my love. No, I won't let you down. Won't let you down, won't let you down, won't let you down, won't let you down. No,
Okay, please welcome to the stage Hernan Lopez, President of Fox Internationals.
Thank you, Jeremy, very much. Thank you, everybody. It's such a pleasure to be here back at the Festival of Media. My last time here was in Valencia. I want to thank Charlie and Jeremy for inviting me to speak. The title of the presentation they wanted me to use is The Golden Age of Television. How long will it last? And I saw that they changed it here at the roster to Can TV's Golden Age last? But they know who I work for, right? So what am I going to say? So I decided to change the title to The Golden Age of Television, the Golden Goose of Advertising. And it goes like this. What do Matthew McConaughey, Kathy Bates, and Jessica Lange have in common? Any guesses? They are Academy Award winning stars. They have worldwide name recognition. And last year, they all worked in television. They joined Academy Award nominees Matt Dillon, Angela Bassett, and Terrence Howard at Exhibit A, B, and C of the new golden age of television. They, along with some of the best writers, directors, and actors, are coming to TV in droves to write some of the best shows we've ever seen. The growth is staggering. In the year 2000, in the US alone, there were 136 scripted television shows made. Today, the number is 350, and each of them cost at least twice as much to make. The New York Times said it best, barely keeping up in TV's new golden age. With so many great shows, it's a wonder we have time for anything else. Yet, some people believe that television, as we know it, is in decline. That we are watching television, yes, but we're doing it on our personal screens, our smartphones, or our tablets. They believe that this transition makes traditional television advertising obsolete, and that if you want to reach anybody under the age of 30, you better reach them on your mobiles. In short, they rephrase my earlier question as, what do Matthew McConaughey, Kim Kardashian, and PewDiePie have in common? Sorry, Matthew. But think about it. In the early days of television, the same comparison was being made in respect of the movie screen against the television screen. Television was born as radio with images, and film was the place where the true stars wrote and acted and directed. Television was considered pure commerce, whereas film was considered art. Of course, we all know now that television did not kill the film industry. Look at these 3 great movies as proof positive that the movie business is still thriving creatively and financially. And for all these years, television still had to compete, the big screen with the small screen, and they both figured out a way to coexist and succeed and learn from one another. So the question I'm going to answer today, after this slide, is remember that the television industry took 7 decades from the start of commercial broadcasting until today's TV golden age. Will the personal screen have its own golden age? I'm sure it will. Will it take 7 decades? That I cannot answer. What I can answer is why the big screen and the personal screen will find a way to coexist and succeed and learn from each other. And the reasons start with why do consumers, advertisers, and content creators love TV? Let's start with consumers. It is a great time, if you love TV, to watch TV. There's so many great shows on TV that are being made, and you're also able to catch up with past seasons of shows that for one reason or another you missed. My colleague, the CEO of FX Network in the US, John Lagerlöf, he often said that it used to be that you program a great show at 9 p.m. and all you had to do was compete with every other great show at 9 p.m. Now, you had to compete with every other show ever created. And what's true for the show is even more true for the commercial. Before, it had to compete with every show or every commercial break at the time. Now, it has to compete with every other show ever created. That's why creative matters more today than ever. Take it from the point of view of content creators. Why do they love TV? They love TV because today you can, at the same time, create great product and get a significant and growing paycheck. There's a lot of television networks and production houses vying for the best ideas and the best talent. And the best shows get renewed year after year, and they pay royalties long after they are off the air. Contrast that with the less predictable world of movies, and let alone internet video, and you can see why so much talent is coming to and staying on TV. M. Night Shyamalan is one example. An acclaimed movie director, he adapted a novel called Way Over Pines into a 10-part television series. He convinced 4 Academy Award nominees, Matt Dillon, Melissa Leo, Juliette Lewis, and Terrence Howard. And he turned it into a television event that will be premiered this Thursday on 126 countries all around the world in the single biggest premiere of a television series of all time, with Microsoft attached as a sponsor. Why does Microsoft and many advertisers love TV? And for the record, television loves you back. Because after all these years, television is still the ultimate branding medium and the ultimate results medium. Here's a chart courtesy of Zenith Optimedia. TV is consistently more influential than other media over time. And this chart, and as the ones that I will show you, go all the way to 2015. And you can see the influence of television is still on the rise. Television consistently delivers higher brand recall than other media. And that is true among every single age group, including those young people that supposedly you cannot reach in any place other than on their smartphones. That is all good and nice, you may say, Hernan, but what about the cost? Well, let's look at a study done by ThinkBox, where they commissioned Ubiquity, a marketing consultancy, to look at 4,500 econometric studies in the UK and analyze the return on investment of television advertising compared to other media over 2 periods of time ending in 2014. They found that on average, for every £1 invested on television, you get a return of £1.79. They found that television is the lead effectiveness medium, twice as effective per exposure as the next most effective medium. And they found also that the synergy between television and online is large and increasing. In other words, that television makes online go the extra mile. Ubiquity commissioned similar studies throughout Europe, and they find the same results as did the NINA study of FMCG media channel benchmarks in Europe. And there's a reason for this. When consumers are in front of a TV set, they're primed to be moved. The power of TV to create emotions and change minds is unmatched on and off the break. Sometimes we are tempted to oversimplify and say it's all video, but I believe that the bigger the screen, the bigger the power. For instance, how many times have you asked to average the all-video cost of your campaign to fill in a spreadsheet for the procurement department? In that environment, you're averaging a 60-inch screen with an iPhone 6, a 30-second spot with a 3-second start, and the Matthew McConaughey environment with the PewDiePie environment. I'm going to show you with that one clear example why there's a big difference between impact on a big screen and a small screen. I'm going to show you the same ad that you've probably seen played at the Super Bowl this past year for Budweiser in both ways, and probably with a CPM which is in the same order of magnitude. Just pay attention to your own emotions, the impact that this same ad is doing on you while you're watching it in both different environments.
When I wake up, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who wakes up next to you. And when I go out, yeah, I know I'm gonna be the man who goes along with you. And I would walk 500 more just to be in the middle of the 1,000 miles to fall down at your door.
Different experience, right? So next time that somebody asks you to average the cost of this with the cost of that, tell them, I can't do it. You're asking me to compare apples and apple trees. Obviously, that's not entirely fair. We know that the ad on mobile probably reaches a lighter viewer of television, that it probably has behavioral targeting that television is not offering today at scale, but it needs to offer. That's why we in television need to get deeper into the business of offering ads with behavioral targeting and in smaller and smaller screens. We have to adapt to a world where consumers are watching content in smaller and smaller time increments and smaller devices. And there's no question that where brands go, consumers will follow, and good media companies will follow as well. But there's also no question in my mind that television is more than the apple tree. It's the golden goose of advertising. For the same reason that I said before, its power to create emotions and change minds is unmatched, on and off the break. And that is great for consumers, for content creators, and for advertisers. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Hernan. That was fantastic.
Thank you.
Still trying to work my emotions from the small to the big screen, but clearly the big screen was the winner in that. So very well
Different
done.
emotions. Maybe you got tear-eyed and maybe you laughed in the other one.
I just wanted to sing the song now. It's in my head for the rest of the day. I suppose one question I had to ask you, and you mentioned it at the start, everyone's saying, oh, it's all about chasing the millennials. how far away or how close is television from doing that? What are the kind of key challenges in making sure you say follow those brands, but obviously following that young and new generation of audience that are coming and consuming television?
Millennials are watching more television than ever. They're just watching it at the same time that they are on the mobile phones. So it is on us to create experiences that are engaging, to keep them watching whatever content we produce in whatever screen we choose to make it available to them.
And we know the advertising budgets are still big in television. Do you think that's going to change over time? How does TV evolve so that it keeps up with that kind of changing process?
I think the television budget will continue to be a significant part of all advertising campaigns for the reason that it still works, it still delivers the results, and advertisers and agencies all around the world, when they go back and they look at the return of their investment, they know that television is the foundation of the results of most of the campaign. It doesn't mean that there won't be growth in other forms of media. It doesn't mean that television as we know it won't change the way in which it is delivered. When you think of television, don't think necessarily of linear television. On-demand TV is also TV. TV that you deliver on a personal screen is also TV. It's just that you need to adjust the kind of buy that you make to the screen that you're making and the environment in which you're making. For instance, the example that I just showed of the big screen versus the small screen, it wasn't just the size of the screen, it is the environment, how the consumer is primed to be exposed. The first experience, you're saying, I'm in front of the TV ready to be entertained. Entertain me. The second experience, he was saying, I have 5 seconds to kill, I'm distracted. Please distract me. And those obviously are perfectly fine environments to put your ad in, but you just need to pay the adequate amount for each.
Okay, thank you very much. And we have some time for a couple of questions from the audience. So who would like to be the first one to question Hernan and television, the golden goose of advertising? We have a question, 2 questions. I think we can fit you both in. Where are our mics? Just there, I think, Paul. On the end, middle row. There we go.
Hello, Martin Heaton Cooper from Discovery Networks. I wondered what your predictions were for ad revenue over the next 5 years. I mean, there's huge growth in online, but how do you see the drift of TV revenue perhaps going towards over the top and other ways people are consuming film now?
I don't want to make my own prediction, but I would invite you to look at the predictions from either Magna Global or Zenith. They all look at a continued growth of television advertising. If anything, they look at the growth of online at the expense of other forms of marketing. I am bullish on television so long as television can continue to adapt the way it trades to the needs of advertisers today. I make an analogy going back to the big screen versus the small screen back in the 40s when commercial broadcasting started. At that time, the 5 biggest movie studios were 20th Century Fox, Warner Brothers, Paramount, MGM, and a now defunct company called RKO. The ones that are the biggest today, the first 2, happen to be the ones that got television right. So in the same way, I believe that the media companies that will thrive in the future are the ones that are able to get the personal screen right.
Thank you, Hernan. And I think we had one other question here, just 4th row back, Paul in the middle. We're coming to you. It's a big room to fill. He's going to be fit by the end of the 2 days, that is for certain.
Hi, Patrizia Contesha, Italy. You show us the difference between the advertising on TV and on device. The puppy was really, emotionating. But how TV can fill the gap in which if I see something on this device, I can be interactive, I can stop, and I can even buy the Budweiser. So this is really powerful. How TV can fill this gap?
Absolutely, and television can do it in platforms that are enabled by 2 ways. For instance, Sky in the UK offers very meaningful platforms for interactive advertising on the big screen that emulate what we are used to doing on our mobile devices today. I believe in the future a lot of advertising will move on whatever device you consume it in towards a two-way message. But I do believe there's obviously a lot of value in both kinds of experiences, but you just need to price it right. You just need to find what is the right pricing model for television and what is it for mobile.
Okay, thank you very much, Hernan. Big round of applause for Hernan. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.